We should probably do some triage today at some point. Does anyone have a demo today? Apparently not.
I made a progress on the workflow, but I'm not sure there is nothing to demo.
Well, why don't you give us an update on that, even if there is no demo?
I have to start Visual Studio.
I mean, you don't have to make a demo if you just want to give a progress update.
Yeah, the progress is just that the editor is more functional now. You can edit nodes, and you can edit them and leave pages. So yeah, after some discussion with Bertrand, I decided to not to use pop-ups for editing nodes, and I'm saving the current graph that you're editing in the local storage. And then you can navigate and edit the nodes. It's like a mini session. And when you're done editing the nodes and navigating like in any web page, opening new pages, and then when you hit save, it will save the changes. So it's like a mini session to edit everything without any server-side processing. There is only one server-side processing, which is when you change the node state, then it requests the display using shapes from the server side. So it's just displaying one shape. So it's an Ajax call to display a node in the workflow.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, triage?
Okay. I will share.
How many bugs do you think we've got?
Lots.
I fixed one.
Just one issue that I should probably. Oh, I did file. I filed it yesterday. Yeah, the thing about Memcached. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yep.
You will.
So. Tell me when you see, everyone. A typical Hungarian bug. One guy is reporting it, his girlfriend is voting on it. You see? Up, up.
Okay, let's pretend we didn't hear that.
This is the Hungarian bug. Okay. A bunch of them like this.
Tell me it isn't a bug.
So what is it about? Widget display should honor permissions. Currently setting view permissions for widget.
Still can't see your screen.
You know, it's funny when you're making a demo on a training and it doesn't work. You have to improvise. I see your screen, by the way.
If I could add one thing, it's the same with the containers. It's the same with the containers. Okay, I ignored you. It's the same. So only the content item display, the ordinary routable item, is being, the permissions are used there.
Maybe I see why. Okay, it should be easy to fix. Maybe you just need to call. Maybe I actually didn't think about those ones, like calling view permission and displaying a widget, because they are using a different controller. obviously. So yeah, that is interesting. Should be easy to fix too.
Can you fix the spelling of honor here?
Nope. Shame on them.
Isn't it?
In English only, not in American. Archer discuss module updated one. GitHub module works, but commands do not.
Yeah, this has been reported by several people. Some commands just fail to work since 1.6.
But Archer.discuss?
They just don't show up. Yeah, but it's not just on that module. I think there is a problem with the way the commands are discovered. Some of them show, some of them don't. In particular, the discuss commands. And there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the... I couldn't see what was different about those.
Was he using the menu from 1.5 or was he using Pierre's menu?
No, he describes that he has a fresh 1.6, so without anything.
Yeah, but he says he migrated from 1.51.
Yeah, but 1.5 was already you know, the new nav was already there.
Okay, my bad. If I have noticed weird stuff with the import module, I wonder if this is to do with that.
It's weird that his ISP would have a French version of things.
I noticed that there is a filtering, so the menu items are being filtered depending on the current culture, the top level ones. So they could, if the culture that is set on the menu item is not is not the same with the current one, it's going to be filtered out.
Maybe every menu item.
Yeah. It's weird.
But in this case, I think the menu items were in French, and what is possible is that in the previous version there was no culture associated to menu items, and then by converting it, they are associated to English. So if you used to use a French site, then I don't see them; they are English. Or they have no culture, so it should, if they don't have any culture, they should have the culture of the previous website. And that's a bug for migration. I don't understand. It should work. It doesn't work.
It should work, yeah.
Because
I agree. That's why it's a bug. It should work.
I mean, I tried it and it was just slow. That's it. Because it couldn't find Memcached. So it was like, okay, I don't find any server. I take 1 second to.
If by slow you mean that a request can take up to an hour, then
No, it was 1 second. So you just disable the service.
No, I've never had it on my machine.
So it's not run. That's it.
I mean, yeah, you don't have access to the site. Even the command line is.
Is this the issue I was getting, Bertrand?
I don't know.
Oh, no, that's a different one, sorry. The one where you haven't, if you haven't got it installed, it blows up.
The sewers settings. So no settings at all, at least, so it's not enabled. Let's say I have a server locally, but I don't actually, okay? So the Memcached module is enabled. The contrib.cache is enabled. The cache is enabled. So if I go to your site, sign out, now it's using it. And you see, it works. So are you talking about the, not Memcached, but maybe the orchard.caching.cache.memcached?
So it's complaining that it can't load the DLL.
Okay, that's a different bug. Maybe the module is corrupted. So that's here, because here it's not complaining. I have the DLL. It's there in the module. So.
Oh, I'm sure it works on your machine.
Yeah. But there, I mean, it's not. Memcached doesn't have to be installed. It's an executable. If it doesn't find the DLL, it's because of the module itself, which doesn't amend it correctly.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a local DLL. So.
I believe you.
So the bug file is badly filed. So you see here, Memcached. In lib, you have this DLL. It's just the client library.
That's not the one it's complaining about.
Okay, so I don't know. So there is nothing to do with the module then.
I'll try.
Where did you get this module? Where did you get this module from?
I don't know if it's the module missing. I think if he doesn't have a Memcached server running locally,
I don't have one.
So what happens on yours? It just throws lots of exceptions, right?
Look, sign out. It's using it. The module is enabled. There is cache, Memcached, and contrib.memcached. They are enabled. And look, and I don't have anything running. You know, there is no console, there is no service. So that's why I was wondering about this here.
I'll try to find your stack trace.
Okay. See, Memcached is enabled. I point to a server which doesn't exist.
You know, that might be, that might be the difference, Bertrand. Maybe if you point to a server that doesn't exist versus, no, I guess.
another server. I sign out so that the cache is using it. Yes, this is different. Now there is a bug.
Okay.
So if you point to a, so this doesn't work.
Aha. So
No,
is it that
it works.
it's just okay, but it's
So what the client does, if you configure it with a set of servers, it will try to see if there is a Memcached server running, and if not, it will blacklist it, so it won't use it at the second request. So it works too, even with a server which doesn't exist. So
I just pasted a stack trace in the chat. Exception is bad image format exception. Could not load file or assembly memcached.
oh well, that's definitely a bad library load or something. That shouldn't happen.
I don't know what this Memcached version. Okay, so this is the module itself.
Okay.
So this is the module, the Memcached module. So the module that is not compiled correctly. Why? Because you only get the source code from the repository. So the DLL, you are building it on your machine. So where is that? Could it be that? Did you get the repository from my repo or from?
No.
So can you check that when you get the repository, there is no with it?
Okay.
There's no what with it? I'm sorry.
There is no DLL in the binary folder because it's about that the Memcached DLL is bad, has a bad image.
Yeah.
But if you go to my repository,
it's badly compiled. So I'll try with the official branch. See.
I don't know, Bertrand. I'm not getting that error ever. I've never seen that before.
Okay. Maybe it's just on my machine. Let's move on.
Okay.
Oh, Bertrand, maybe you have the bad DLL in the global assembly cache. Maybe it's cached and it's trying to use that one instead of the one pulled from the repo.
What DLL are you talking about?
The Memcached DLL.
What would it do in the GAC?
I don't know. Maybe for some reason you have it there, because I didn't have any issues. I don't have Memcached running locally too.
Our child modules never go into the GAC.
Yeah, they go into dependencies folder and maybe update the dependencies.
Memcached is the name of the module itself, the name of the orchard module.
Yeah, let's move on.
Oh, okay.
It's probably an issue with. I mean, it's probably badly compiled.
Formatting date with autoroute. So I saw this one going content date, and then event data date and get blank. In this post, I explain how I try to get that right to get a date. Well, yeah. This is something we've used a few times, so it should work.
Yeah, it used to work, but apparently.
No. What is wrong here is content dot fields dot type. That's weird. I'm not sure that's fields then the part. Where do we?
Not look at the second one, the second token, which works. Doesn't have the part name. Oh, yes, it does.
Okay, so this is the field, and then it has format. So this is definitely wrong. This is the field itself, which is the value. Then it should, okay, so it should be able to do format then. Let me look at the token for datetime fields. Tokens. The date, the date only, the time, the time. So this is date time, and then datetime field. You have to call datetime to have the value datetime.format. Because if you don't do anything, you have a field. Okay, the field is nothing. .date or .time or datetime, you got the toString, and if you want to go on, it's datetime.format, and then so datetime first, and then format. Where is the format token? Maybe here. Core. No, it's in tokens. In tokens. Where is tokens? Here. Providers. Date tokens. And then you have the format. Okay. And the correct format. So, and it's applied on. Anything. Format, and datetime.format. So this should be this. So, and this is also well, why do we have a caps lock key? It's breaking my.
Well, you know, I think the latest the latest Dell computer actually has a an ability to turn off the caps lock key.
Let me see. Why does it? Okay, now that's work. Okay, that's the caps lock key. Okay, so I will try to see if it fixes the issue. So just it reminds me that yeah, I can show it to you what I'm doing. the cheat sheet. So we need a cheat sheet for tokens, because you can't guess that, oh, it's a date time field, oh, you have to type date time to get the real date time, and then you can put formats.
Always
okay?
have to go into the code for that.
Yes, and yeah, I always go to the code, so I don't know how you do, because you don't know where the code is.
I do Control-T token and find the right one.
So let me show you then what I did already. Not for tokens. So this is something I'm working on. This is a cheat sheet for Orchard. Typically in the views, you don't ever know what you can call from a work context because you don't have IntelliSense, and or here you have a current user, so it's a high user, and you see as I hovered it, the gray here, high user. Let me show you. You see, it's graying it. I don't know if you can see it with this link.
That's actually really cool. I can see it.
So then you know that current user is returning a iUser, and iUser has a username and an email, which are strings. So that's, so you know what to do. And there's also a description of what it does and things like that. The idea is that we can also get a PDF from that and have awesome posters with that. So this is a work in progress. And I have a Word document that I had made for Harvest, but I didn't have time to show it. And I'm using that. I must be missing some things. I still have a lot of items to add to this page, but we already have this item. Yeah, the trigger was that when I was trying to do a website, I didn't have my computer and was on another one's computer, and I tried to display the link to a content item. I could not remember if it was display item link or link display item, things like that, and which namespace you have to include. So with this thing, oh, item display text. Oh, this is it, and this is an icon. Okay, and it returns HTML string. Okay, I can do an @ on that on this one to display it. Things like that. So I think it will be useful, and we will need the same thing for tokens. So we have global tokens, and then the type what they return, and what they can be chained with, and then what we can use for every type. This will be useful. This is forkable, and you can improve it if you want to. I think it's on GitHub.
That looks really great, by the way.
I think, yeah, I just copy-pasted some other example. This is a jQuery design, and where is it? How do I see my repositories? Cheat sheet, okay.
Yeah, do you think we could merge that eventually with the documentation so that we don't have?
Yeah, just right now it's there. We can fork it, work on it. I did some, you see, 3 days ago, just before I left, I wanted to back up everything I had in any way.
Sure.
So, yeah, definitely. Move it in the documentation, or right now it's there, it's not finished, it was work in progress, so I didn't care. But yeah, in the end, it will be in the documentation and pushed automatically to the site. We can also make a specific website, I think, with GitHub hosting it, like orchardcheatsheet.com or something like that. Yeah, it's there. It's just a simple HTML file, and we'll see that it's very simple to understand. So this is the main container. Views is a big blue column. Then inside views you have a div being a column like this, and then a section of, where is it? I lost it. So a section is a section, and then each item is a URLi. And there is this thing, class, the version. So if we add new elements in specific version, we will be able to filter which items for which version. So you will have a drop down in the header to define which version you will use.
Can we change that? Can we make it so it's a data attribute rather than a class?
A what?
The data attribute is right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, why not? Well,
class is nice because you can select on it, so you could filter the view for a specific version.
you can also with data.
Versions. Yeah, but it's
It's the same.
You need to make a query on attributes.
Yeah. Well,
This is how it is.
title is for description, and two different classes in spans in anything. So the type, if you want to have a type, and params, because I styled them differently. Params, you see here, out t. So try resolve t takes out t, and resolve t returns a t. And this is a typo.
Can you show again how you specify that?
So where is it? In the li you have a, and inside the text of the a there is a text layout. Then in a span you say that this is the type, and you can have the same with params, span class params, span class type.
Your script looks for that span specifically.
It's not a script. It's just CSS.
Oh, there is no script here.
Nope.
You said jQuery earlier.
No, I mean if you need to filter based on the version.
Oh.
If you will do a
So
jQuery using this
HTML, CSS.
Yes, so here it just, you see, it's a link, a tag, and this is the text in the a tag, and this also in the same a tag.
So how does it know when you highlight, when you're on something? And
oh, the highlight is different. Yeah, the highlight is a data attribute. Where is it? The data is some highlight attribute. You don't see it here. You see here, data highlight, and you have a jQuery selector for saying what do you want to highlight when you hover it. So yes, there is jQuery here. So high shape factory.
You have some duplicate information here.
What is duplicated?
High shape factory.
No, it's here. It's you need to.
Is the highlight ever going to be different from the return type?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's just a HTML ID. This is the HTML ID of something else.
Yeah, but you could have the convention that.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but that you have to name your ID. And what if no? That's a bad argument. The only thing will be that the type you run cannot be an HTML ID. Example, this thing, dynamic parentheses shape. So I say I return a dynamic, but it's a shape technically. See, it's okay to repeat this thing. It just points me to an ID that I have to highlight. And look at those ones. IEnumerable of dynamic. Or could it be HTML ID?
Well, you can transform them. Okay.
iDictionary string. So just to say that we need the same for tokens. By the way, it
looks good.
By the way, we have said that. I'm sure Antoine has already finished it. And Hibernate not compatible with SQL Azure, suggest adding new SQL Azure database provider using MS library. Okay, why? So if it was not compatible with SQL Azure, the gallery will not work, the website will not work. Do we agree?
Yeah.
But maybe Syscache doesn't work.
Oh, maybe he took it from the very tip. Didn't you just update the latest version of n-8?
No, I took not the latest. Well, we have the 3.3.2, even in 1.6, and I applied a slight modification to optimize the JIT loading. That's it. On the 1.6. So what is the issue here?
I don't think there is one. I think he says it's actually working fine.
Okay, no, he says voice taxonomies. Okay, maybe.
I added a custom field to the taxonomy term, then I created a new term field populated, then I edit the term. This may have already been fixed.
When?
Well, the version of the taxonomy stuff that he's talking about is 1.4, where the stuff that we've been doing on that we've got on the branch is way past 1.4. It's worth checking. There's other fixes to go into this, but the branch that Sibka pushed to you is quite far ahead. I meant the fork. You didn't pull Sibka's fork, did you?
Nope. And 1.4.2.
I'm talking about the fork that Sibka pushed into Orchard Taxonomy.
Yeah, I was just checking already with
Okay.
taxonomy itself just to see, because I'm not sure he's using this one. So
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said.
okay, we'll try to pro.
19337. I'd like to try that as well.
It's still there, so it will fail. Enable spam protected. We have to fix it. Even if we delete this column, we have to fix the name of the column.
Can we not? One of the things that gets me is that I wish there was a rename column method.
For what? Oh, rename column.
Yeah, sometimes I just wish I could rename it rather than drop it.
I'm not sure you can do that.
Well, I mean, I could run a piece of SQL to rename a column, but I mean that's goes against what that's what I'm saying. That there's not one there. It would be nice if there was one.
Yeah, but for example, SQL Server C does not support renaming columns, from what I recall. So it's.
So it will drop it and create a new one. You will lose everything, and you thought you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Collection ID to shapes are stored as collection of base objects. and the collection to the editor. Shape from the driver. Okay, so I don't understand. Collections added to shapes are stored as collection of base objects. Add a collection to editor shape from a driver. Okay.
There is a cast extension method on enumerable that enables you to cast an enumerable of whatever you want. Why don't you use that?
But this is the problem that you store something and something different comes out.
It's weird.
So,
Yeah, but
what does the API look like?
sorry?
What does the API look like?
The API?
What specific API are we talking about here?
Shapes.
Add a collection to the editor shape.
My shape dot.
Yeah,
My
not
shape dot
editor, but display shape, and that's a mistake there. So when you initialize a shape from the shape helper, and
I'm
you have
showing you an example.
property there.
I go there, so you say that if here I do, it's a bad example, but if I say my shape dot foo and I say new list of blah, you say that if you try to access my shape dot foo, it's not. You say it's a list of objects.
Yeah.
I don't trust you. I don't believe you.
Yeah, I don't see how that could happen.
Because yeah, so
I think
yes.
you need to give more details in that.
I want to
it's
repro.
really not clear.
Well, yes, there is a repro somehow, but let me show you something. Oh, I should be in the. So the best thing, if you could do it, if you have time, would be to use the clayless, even not the clayless branch, because there are more unit tests like test. This one, for instance, or shape test. This one, and you will see that you see foo.add hello. Just say layout.mylist equals something and assert that my list is this type. Because what is done is just take the object and assign it. That's it. There is no transformation of it. So I don't see why.
Yeah, I think you'll have to provide some more specific repro steps.
The repro is exactly what's there, and what Sébastien showed us.
Isn't it due to the dynamic handling types? Because we had the issue earlier with the iContent and content item. So if you put something into the shape, so it's exactly the type. It's exactly. So if it's iContent, it's when you try to call a method that does not exist on an iContent interface, but is there on that object, you will have the runtime exception that the method is not available. So the dynamic binding is using exactly the same type the object was casted to when it was put as a dynamic property. So maybe this is somehow related.
Let me see. I know. Add a collection to it's a shape. Okay, it's a shape. It's a shape. It's a shape. Let me take a shape. I proved you wrong. Okay, I close it. You have to repro it to convince yourself.
Is it possible
I
that
will
you
make
got
a screencast.
confused, for example, by did you test it explicitly against list of objects maybe, and it returned true because it is actually a list of objects. There is covariance here.
Sorry?
Oh, and Zoltan, if you had something like list of dynamic, it will be treated as a list of object.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
If you
It was
casted
some statically type object.
Oh.
We have to close some bugs. Comment editor approves commands and replaces there. It's one.x?
What?
It's one.x?
Yes.
Okay.
And the only way you can work around it is by going into the database. So really annoying.
Really?
Yeah.
You can change it.
Yeah, it's super annoying. You edit the author of the comment, bam, it replaces it with you.
Okay.
You approve it, it unapproves it every time you save. Super annoying.
Tokenized display text option per content type. This can be known as a module.
It is a neat idea.
Sorry?
It is a neat idea.
Yes. So first, you see, the very good example is the user, because we use the username today. Actually, it's a login name, which can be bad, like Jao28, but you might want to go to the profile, be using a profile module and provide the display name, but then being able to use this one for the display text. So there needs to be two changes. First is, instead of using current user.username everywhere we use it, change it to the display text of current user. So it uses the display text of the current users. I've done it, I think, in a branch, or it's somewhere I did it because it was interesting. And then being able to change the display text is also a good idea. So maybe it could be a tokens module, a feature in the tokens module, if it was in core, because it needs tokens. But we say that, okay, we agree, we can say that we can agree, but future version we have to say if it goes into it or not. So query versus HTML later may suffer performance penalty at times. I don't disagree.
Yeah, I noticed it through the profiler that there is a difference between how the queries are being actually executed on a database side. So the HQL query just executes as a plain text. So when there are lots of queries that differ just within with the ID, the execution plan on the SQL server won't be reused across those queries. So which would happen in a case of using SP execute SQL.
maybe a more drastic decision that we'd already discussed is to remove HQL query but use query over. So using the object model, it will be a dependency on an Hibernate, but here we just don't. So the reason of calling it HQL query but having an abstraction over it was that we didn't want to imply a strong reference on an Hibernate for every module. But we are missing a lot of things, and that will be fixed with using query over, so that would be a better idea, and it will fix this issue also, by the way. And today we can't do anything for that because it's the internal execution of HQL query. We can't do anything. It's an Hibernate. Okay. So because we just say execute HQL query and it does what it does. It's a different pipeline of executing queries, so I don't know. I didn't see that. But query over is what it's used today by the link provider, so it will be the same as the SP equals SQL. I don't know how bad it is, yeah, that's. But later.
Yeah, having query over would be great. Yeah, it opens up a lot of flexibility.
Icon manager get all versions is very inefficient.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I can rewrite it so I can take on this one. I have a fix for that.
Hopefully you are the only one to use it, so.
No, there are two votes.
Yeah, but you're the only one to use it. Okay. They are voting because they use your module and they want it to be faster, that's it.
Oh yeah.
Resource requires settings don't seem to work. Okay. Trust you.
But you shouldn't trust me.
What?
You shouldn't trust me.
Trust you. Because I know it's probable. This one I have to check. The other one I wanted to check right now that it was working. Here I want to check that it's not working.
Okay. Actually, since then I reproed the previous issue, so I will definitely do a screencast just for you.
Okay, thank you. I don't need a screencast. Just tell me which module you have to change and use an existing module. For instance, use the blog or comments. I don't know, something which returns a shape. Then tell me to change the template for this part in this existing module, so I don't have to create a new module. You know, and it's even better. Are you using clayless or clayful?
Playful.
Okay. So this one is active. Okay.
If we have clayless, we should have claymore. That would be.
Oh, claymore. Better.
Is that the explosive version?
So this we already have. Adding an option to recapture part settings to not display it on the front end for authenticated, we already have. But on the new branch, so maybe that's why they're not referring to it. But otherwise, this is pretty important.
Yeah, that's done.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
Hey Nick, it's amazing how you managed to copy my code and get it wrong.
No, I don't want to put iDependency on it. That's the point.
Why?
Yeah, well, I'm not doing anything until I get the right version.
It's not.
Nick.
Hi. It's not registered there normally with HTTP context accessor. It's registered inside Orchard Starter, which is probably not right. It probably should be registered inside MVC module. Not with iDependency.
Sure.
Pardon?
I'm not sure I understand why, but let's table that one.
this bug. I will have to try to repro, but the repro is not complete because I have to create a repro file, import file, and yeah.
I've seen this where people have done temp data, and the notifications live inside temp data already. They do, don't they?
Yeah, they do. The
And
use
that
session.
sucks.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a bug in its own right.
Yeah. Maybe they should be kept in a database or something.
All kinds of problems.
You know, it's the only place in the whole orchard that uses session for something.
I don't want to use Orchard anymore if you have to use a database for that.
No, but we need to find another way of doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the right way.
Temp data. It fails on. I mean, it forces you to configure a distributed session on a farm. You shouldn't have to do that. Just one
That's MVC, and I don't know of any other solution.
That's the worst feature of MVC.
Because as long as you have redirects, boom, this is the only way. Can you put cookies in a redirect result?
If we try it, yes, you can.
I open it for a future because it's just for one stop. But
no, who is that guy? Who is OLUKA? That's I don't know who that is.
It's Ilan. He created a fake account.
Oh right, I thought so.
But yeah, cookie is a way of doing that. But
it doesn't sound good.
It can be a module. It could be a module, and say.
You have a better idea?
I haven't given it any thought.
It's technical issues. So first you have to understand why there is temp data because of redirects, and then first.
Can't we use the cache some Memcached based, maybe not a Memcached, but some cache store, or for holding a queue of the notifications to display?
Yeah, later. And I'm generating invalid queries since one. Oh, this one, yeah. Nobody open it.
Hate the word enterprise.
That's really funny.
The length of the string value exceeds the length configured in the mapping unit. So what is the issue?
Looks like it's exceeding. Search settings part record. Search fields does have unlimited on it. If you look in the migration, it does have unlimited.
But is there a string length max?
No, that's not what it's blowing up with. Hibernating.
Maybe it's needed like that, yeah. See,
but doesn't unlimited actually make it? Unlimited
Yeah,
make it 10,000. It's not unlimited.
Question is that maybe the mapping needs it also on the record to know it.
Yeah, it's needed. It's needed.
Yes,
The
yes,
unlimited won't work.
It's needed because there is some custom processing in the the drivers for an Hibernate that fixes SQL C limitations and things like that. So yeah, maybe it's needed. Okay. Pff, 11 votes.
You've never been able to reproduce that one, have you?
Can't repro.
I have a video on YouTube reproducing this. It was during a demo. It was funny.
Oh, hold on. I'm having problems when trying to edit placement currently. I found something weird with placement today, but I'll raise a bug for it if I can work out what the problem is.
Antoine says he has one. What version are you running, Antoine? What? Sticking notification. Do I have a choice?
Well, everything you do it on purpose, so don't do it.
I'm not the one sending the notifications. Yeah, I tried. I actually tried that, and the customer doesn't seem to be.
So you say that the temp data.
That's pretty much a duplicate of the one we looked earlier.
Then I'm just thinking about the.
Maybe we should have a queue in memory, but those still won't work
So
on
I'm
the farm.
just trying to think about the issue, not the. So in a farm, notifications can go to the wrong user.
Yes.
How come?
Oh, yeah, I have actually seen this. This does happen. This actually happens locally as well, not just in a web farm.
I'm not
seen
entirely sure how it happens, but I'm positive it does.
Yeah, but it's not the wrong user in terms of different session. But when you, for example, log in, log out, you have a notification appearing like 10 requests later, because it's still stored on some node on a web farm, and you need to hit that same node twice to see the notification.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
that's the whole problem.
There is no affinity between the notifications and the browser session.
Yeah, so change your router to use session affinity.
I suggested that to the customer as well. The customer is listening, by the way.
Or store the session somewhere else. Can't you have a Memcached session provider?
Yeah, there are solutions like that.
That'd be pretty cool.
They don't necessarily work. Across data centers, for example, you're not going to share session.
What? The what?
If you work across data centers, you're not going to establish a shared session between your data centers. But session affinity, I agree. That's exactly what I suggested. you know, it's an important choice to set up session affinity. There are ramifications to it, and it's not necessarily the right solution for you, and you shouldn't be forced to have to use that. I really think we should explore an alternate mechanism for notifications than temp data, rather than force people to use farm configuration that they don't necessarily want to use. But yes, there are solutions, definitely. Workarounds, let's say.
Is it possible to create own iNotifier easily, or because I don't recall it from the top of my head, or is it as complex as the logger injection and not?
No, I think it's fairly simple, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend you do it with the database or anything that you mentioned earlier. But
no,
we can discuss implementations, but yeah, it's not, yeah. See,
oh.
there.
Oh yeah, the temp data is outside the notifier itself. Okay.
So it's a notify filter.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Yep. So you'd have to replace the filter.
Enabling a feature does not pick up recipe file.
That definitely used to work.
Yay, I was trusted.
Which one? Anyone?
What? What's the question?
That's your bug.
Yes. What's your question?
Which one?
Which
New
what?
projection layout. New projection layout.
Oh, I see. Sorry. It was new at the time when I tried the bug. It's probably not the best way to try the bug here. The ones you added recently, you created 2 additional projection layouts: dynamic projection layout, and what's the other one? I don't remember. But it has a tokenized shape type, which is very neat, but it doesn't tokenize the display type, which would also be very useful. So just a suggestion, can be future. Although it could be very easy to do.
Creating, createless. I think creating whole trigger. Yeah, I can fix it. Yeah. Thanks, Alan. Yes. Maybe we need a reflection-based token or dynamic-based token. Ah, crap.
Yeah, that one took me some time to understand.
Who did that?
What?
Who did that?
You did.
Yeah. I say it's a bug in the tokenizer, in the content picker. Should let me save like that.
Yeah, I agree with this one. You know, for anyone who does deployments of sites, to staging server and then to production, that would save so much time.
Yeah, it would. It would.
Yes, and this is
Oh
easy.
yeah, we know about this one.
And we can fix it very easily.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
I am a professional, okay? So maybe, okay, sorry, I have to rephrase it. I can fix it very easily.
You know that thing that Tesla allegedly did with Edison. It's probably a urban legend, but he goes to so Edison summons Tesla to fix a problem in his factory, and Tesla comes, spends 2 minutes putting I don't know, a capacitor or something somewhere, and charges $10,000 for it. And Edison says $10,000 for 2 minutes. And for a capacitor, and he says, well, it's 20 cents for the capacitor, and the rest of the money is for knowing where to put it.
Yeah, so that's exactly the same thing. Yeah. But I don't ask for $10,000.
Nice, thanks.
I know this is slightly off topic of that last item in terms of being able to pass from as an admin from one tenant to the other. But for someone hosting multi-tenants and multi-environments, I've mentioned to Bertrand in the past that it would be helpful to create a super RBAC. Role-based.
Nice acronym, yeah.
Because.
Accenture.
Say again, Nick?
I don't work for Accenture. I don't acronym everything.
Okay, this is an acronym.
So being able to manage your roles across tenants, right?
Across tenants and across environments.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Sébastien, can you go back to the previous one for just 1 second?
Where is my comment?
Probably in temp data on another web node.
Oh, here.
Yeah, but you're not the one generating the cookie. It's the session cookie.
Nope. Nope. So not maybe on the cookie, but when you create a ticket or something like that. So where is it? User. It's membership maybe. Membership. Default membership. This.
Elon, what was that acronym again?
No, I'll just spell it out for you. Roll, R-O-L-E. Did you get that?
Elon is in a good mood.
Is that all right, Nick? Did you write that down? Starts with an R.
I did actually. I get out of it. I actually did write it down. What was the acronym? Was it RBAC, like Pierre wrote down? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Everybody, slow down for Nick, okay?
But I'd never heard of it before, but now I know. I never heard the acronym.
Do you know what LOL stands for? L-O-L.
Don't do that to me, dude.
Knob. Misspelled. Knob.
I'm getting owned internationally.
Boom. Cookie.pass.
And knowing is half battle. That's a good G.I. Joe quote.
What was the what was the error, guys?
I'm gonna bow out of this call, guys. It's 1:25. It's a little bit past what I have a hard
So it
stop.
should be here, something to change here. That's all. Hop. Form authentication service, line 49.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, just look at what is the value inside, and maybe you just get the tenant prefix value using shell settings, and maybe a concatenation or something like that.
Okay, I didn't know we were setting the cookie ourselves here. Framework was doing it for us.
Okay, so we'll have to stop. 25, it's okay?
Okay, we'll have to do this again next week.
And after that week.
Stop adding some.
Stop writing bugs.
Yeah, guys,
Stop using Orchard.
do things, fix them. Stop writing fake bugs so we don't lose time on them. Pierre.
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
So to answer some questions, if I see them. As written in a blog post of the pros cons for clayless, there is no cons for clayless, just pros, until Adrian finds that it doesn't work on some pages. So you should use clayless if you can to see how better is it and to give us some feedback, and also to find where it doesn't work so we can fix it. So Adrian will find one page which didn't work. Okay, he's running production. Yeah, but Noisette is not a real production website. We should try it on bigger websites.
What? I'm doing real business, contrary to you.
So notice 2 new Orchard base recently. NATO, HR, overseas.hr. Is there internet in Hungary? Okay.
These are Croatian sites actually, but yeah, I think they have internet. Yeah.
No, it's Hungary.
Actually, I think I found some nice ones too. Let me see. I have a new one. Where is my list? Websites. no new. So we broke the 0.01% of market share.
How do you know that?
I don't know that. And we were at 0.0073% in September. So over September, October, 3 months we gained something like
Sebastian, is the statistic based on the whole internet or
30-40%? The internet of CMSs, half of the internet.
But the sizes of the pages are, of the
Whatever website.
Oh, okay. So it's not like top 1,000 or
every website. So half of the websites running a CMS are WordPress. So 50% is WordPress. We have 0.01. So we know where to go.
Where do you read this from?
Websites online, you can find them.
It's a shame, really. We need more marketing or something. WordPress has got such a big marketing out there, whereas
yeah, you can't beat WordPress. Don't try.
Well, Microsoft moved all their sites, all the live profiles.
And the issue is that WordPress is gaining market share.
Yeah, well,
over everyone.
Try and move live sites then to Orchard.
They were like 54 in 3 months ago. They are now 55 point something, which means they are growing faster than anyone.
Well, is Drupal falling? Is Drupal going down in market share?
And Drupal is third, going up.
It's going up. Joomla is stagnating.
Where are we getting these stats from?
W3tech.com.
Any particular link after that?
Yes, the one I just pasted.
Thank you.
We're on there. Wow. SharePoint. Where's Umbrico?
It's 0.1. I was just thinking about Umbrico. Yeah.
Blogger's growing as well. That's the Google one, right? Is that Google Blogger? Yeah.
Yeah, Google Purchase Blogger.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Before Sebastian was born.
And .NET Nuke is still
best
not 7. Unbelievable. .NET Nuke. People still want to use that?
They just had a new version actually.
Yeah, also, and they are the best .NET CMS.
Yeah.
Well,
wait,
what constitutes best?
They have the best number of
Better than
people using it, so.
Oh no, the best doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean anything.
So, well, there is no best CMS in any technology. They have just the most number of users, and you see it.
Sure. Well, that makes sense. Maybe we should go on an iBuySpy as well.
Well, .NET
can...
is iBuySpy. Yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah, I know.
Tab ID equals 1, 2, 3. Remember that. So should we stop here?
Yeah. Okay,
well, we gained 30% in 3 months. 30% of market share, which is good. This is not new websites. This is market share. It is better than new websites.
Yeah, it's a nice progression. I mean,
Websites.
and 0.01% market share sounds really small. Look at the scale. There are 600 million websites in the world.
We're used by high traffic websites, it looks like. So,
Yes.
which is interesting.
That is very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it's good data. Worth looking at.
Yeah, it's got some good sites down there. AMC Theatres, that's a really good one. Damn it,
That's how Sébastien found out about it, I think. Right?
What? Yes.
This is how you found out about AMC using
Yes.
Spar's on there as well. Huh.
Alright, well, thanks everyone. We'll have more triage to do next week. And hopefully whoever is producing some Larsen can mute himself.
Dishwasher. This is my dishwasher in the
it is?
kitchen. Yeah.
Okay, well, see you all next week. That's it for today. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Sébastien.